we too have those same basic desires to surpass others, to achieve distinction. And it's really a quest for recognition, and they get names that give them that impression. So you get your groups, and they become the grand patron. And the little fellow who is henpecked at home needs a chance to be the most worthy of the most worthy of something. It is the drum major impulse and longing that runs the gamut of human life. And so we see it everywhere, this quest for recognition, and we join things, overjoin really, that we think that we will find that recognition in. We are so often taken by advertisers, those gentlemen of massive verbal persuasion, and they have a way of saying things to you that kind of gets you in the bind. In order to be a man of distinction, you must drink this whiskey. In order to make your neighbors envious, you must drive this type of car. In order to be lovely to love, you must wear this kind of lipstick or this kind of perfume. And you know, before you know it, you're just buying that stuff. It often causes us to live above our means. You ever see people buy cars that they can't even begin to buy in terms of their income? You've seen people riding around in Cadillacs and Chrysler who don't earn enough to have a good T Model 4. You know, economists tell us that your automobile should not cost more than half of your annual income. So if you make an income of $5,000, your car shouldn't cost more than about $2,500. That's just good economics. But so often, haven't you seen people making $5,000 a year and driving a car that costs $6,000? And they wonder why their ends never meet. Now, the economists also say that your house shouldn't cost, if you're buying a house, it shouldn't cost more than twice your income. There's a family with an income of $10,000. The house shouldn't cost much more than $20,000. Well, I've seen folk making $10,000 living in $40,000 and $50,000 houses. I know a man who used to live in a $35,000 house, and other people started building $35,000 houses, so he built a $75,000 house, and then somebody else built a $75,000 house, and he built a $100,000 house, and he knew where he's going to end up if he's going to live his life trying to keep up with the Joneses. And you know, they just barely make it. They get a check every month somewhere, and they owe all of that out before it comes in. Never have anything to put away for rainy days. It causes one's personality to become distorted. Have you ever heard people that, you know, and I'm sure you've met them, that really become sickening because they just sit up all the time talking about themselves. And they just boast and boast and boast. There are some people who are influence peddlers. They have to try to identify with the so-called big-name people. They will make you think they know somebody that they don't really know. And the other thing is that it causes one to engage ultimately in activities that are merely used to get attention. They don't feel that they're getting enough attention through the normal channels of social behavior. And so they turn to anti-social behavior in order to get attention, in order to feel important. So they get that gun, and before they know it, they rob the bank. In a quest for recognition and a quest for importance. And then the final great tragedy is the fact that when one fails, he ends up trying to push others down in order to push himself up. Whenever you do that, you engage in some of the most vicious activities. You will spread evil, vicious, lying gossip on people because you're trying to pull them down in order to push yourself up. You are put in the position of supporting your oppressor because through prejudice and blindness, you fail to see that the same forces that oppress Negroes in American society oppress poor white people. And all you are living on is the satisfaction of your skin being white, of thinking that you are somebody big because you're white, and you're so poor you can't send your children to school. You ought to be out here marching with every one of us every time we have a march. Now that's a fact. Poor white has been put into this position where through blindness and prejudice he is forced to support his oppressors, and the only thing he has going for him is the false feeling that he's superior because his skin is white and can't hardly eat and make his ends meet week in and week out. You want to be great? You want to be important? Well, you ought to be. Keep feeling the need for being important. Keep feeling the need for being first. But I want you to be first in love. I want you to be first in moral excellence. I want you to be first in generosity. That is what I want you to do. Brethren, I can't give you greatness. You must earn it. True greatness comes not by favoritism, but by fitness. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. Because everybody can serve.